Boom. Okay, we're recording. So, if any of you on here do not know me, my name is Shelby. I am a double diamond. I don't know if I'm your leader or not. Like, I know some of you, but I don't know all of your faces. So, I may be your double diamond leader or I may just be a sideline to you. But either way, welcome to the party. We are really excited to talk to you guys. We're going to go over Ruby Madness. Basically, if you are in my downline, you know that this month we're all fighting and scratching and kicking and screaming to get to Ruby. And we're going to talk about why Ruby's so important. We're going to talk about what it means to be Ruby, and we're going to talk about how to go Ruby. So you may be new, or you may have been in the business for a while, but it's going slower than you thought, or maybe you signed up and you didn't really do anything, or whatever the case may be. We're all going Ruby this month, and if you have already gone Ruby and you have maintained your rank, then this information is still really good because you want to help your teammates go Ruby. It's going to benefit them and it's going to benefit you. So it's like a huge double whammy. We want everybody going Ruby. And honestly, myself and I know the other leaders on here, we're helping our teams go Ruby, but really it's like a goal to go Ruby ourselves, like again, because it's going to help build our own team and our own charts, etc. I think you guys get the point. So anyways, welcome. I'm glad that you guys are here. Hey, Nikki. Okay, so what is Ruby? If you do not know, basically Ruby is a team of 5. There's 5 distributors below you, 3 on your top line, and one of those 3 has 2 below them. So basically what that means is you have an executive below you, and then you have 2 other teammates on your top line. All 5 of those people need to have 400 in group volume. So if you have not seen a Ruby chart, you need to go into your eSuite. You need to go under the document library, and I think it's under like business building documents or something. Like, you'll find it when you're in there, but you can download a Ruby chart. If you're on my team and you're part of Team Bomb Diggity, the Facebook page, then it is also in the files section of our Facebook page. So go get it however you got to go get it. I mean, honestly, you could probably go to Google and Google It Works Ruby chart and find one there. So just find a Ruby chart, get it printed out, and recognize the like very specific formation of those 5 people that you need on your team. You can't just enroll 5 and just have them floating on your top line, and that's not going to get you to Ruby. So just make sure you pay attention to that, and we'll go over a little bit more information on that later. But a Ruby is a $500 average per month paycheck. So I don't know about you guys, but myself, that's why I joined. I joined for $500 a month. And I would say probably 90% of the people that I talk to and I ask, how much per month would help you? What would make you more comfortable? What would help you get, from month to month without feeling stressed or, whatever. And most people say around $500. So Ruby is huge in that sense because it's right where the majority of people want to be, at least at first. Once they realize how attainable it is and how simple this business is, most people continue to move on past Ruby. But that's where most people's like first goal is. So who doesn't want a $500 extra paycheck? So if you're brand new, the first thing that I want you guys to do, if you haven't already, is to make a hundreds list. And what that is you're literally writing down anybody and everybody that can go on a list of 100 people that you can talk to either about the products or the business. There's a couple different ways, and to some people 100 is like, oh yeah, no problem, I'm just gonna like write it down. I'm just gonna like go through my Facebook friends and write down my closest 100 people. For some people, you're like, no, like I don't know 100 people. don't worry, you know, there's some different ways to think about it, and sometimes you have to think outside the box a little bit if your network's smaller. So a couple of things. One is your chicken noodle soup list. And basically what that is if you were like sick as a dog, who would come and help you? Who would bring you that chicken noodle soup or that medicine that you need because you can't go get it yourself? These are going to be your closest, warmest, warm market. Like the people that love you and are going to support you no matter what. Those are the first like 10 to 20 people that need to go on your list. Then if you are, this is one that I like to use. Not all of us are married, but if you are married, how many people did you invite to your wedding? How many people did you buy dinner that night? And how many people did you have an open bar for? I mean, not everybody has an open bar and not everybody feeds everybody, but you guys know what I mean? Like, you got invited to my wedding. So now I'm going to ask a favor of you, basically. And I wouldn't like word that. I wouldn't say it like that to them. But when you're making your list, put those people on your list. I invited 150 guests. That's 150 people that I can go to and be like, hey, what do you know, are you interested in these products? Are you interested in this business? And if you're not, who do you know that is? You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say it like that, but that's what's going through my head is like, you're going to help me in some way. And then the last way that you can fill in this hundreds list is what we call the Frank method. And basically it's friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors. If you have kids, then it's your kids' friends, parents, or their teachers, or, you know, maybe their church teachers, or maybe they're in like after school activities. So, you know, whoever those people are that go along with your kids, then add them. And then, yeah, friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and then kids, friends, parents, and stuff. So once so now you have your chicken noodles. You have your chicken noodle soup list. You have your wedding list. You have this like Frank method. And then if you still don't have 100 people, now it's time to really think outside the box and, you know, throw your dentist, your dental hygienist on there, throw your mailman on there, throw your UPS guy on there that you see, you know, once a week or whatever. Get creative and add some people to that list. So I want everybody, if you don't already have a list, that's a priority, is to make one. And if you have been in this business and you're like, yeah, I did my hundreds list when I first started and I like blew through it. And, you know, some people said yes, some people said no. Go back to those people on that list, because when you started 5 months ago or even a year ago or whatever, those people were in a different point in their lives than they're in right now. A year ago, I was super duper pregnant. A year before that, I had no kids at all. And a year before that, I like had a normal job and, you know, wasn't even doing it works yet. So like your life changes. So everybody's life changes, you know, for better or for worse even. And so we need to be there to swoop in, you know, like maybe when you talked to somebody a year ago, it seemed like they had it all together. Well, now they could have, you know, got let go from their job, or they, you know, they could have had a lot of stress come on them and they ended up gaining 15 pounds, or maybe they just need a supplement to help with the stress, or, you know, whatever it is. Just because they weren't interested then, they might be now. So that hundreds list never goes away. My hundreds list, I even look back from when I first started, and, you know, most of those people are highlighted because they see that I've stayed very consistent. And in my mind, I don't know when it's going to be, but everybody on my list is either going to become a distributor or they're going to become a customer. It might not be today and it might not be in 6 months, but you're not getting crossed off my list unless you literally say, Shelby, never ever contact me again. And then I still might even contact you in a couple years, or a couple months or whatever. But keep growing that list is where I'm going with that, is don't don't cross anyone off and keep growing it. So I need everybody to make that a priority as your hundreds list. I spent way too much time on that. I'm sorry. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to talk about before we get into like the meat and potatoes is Ashley and I are listening to a audiobook right now called Ashley, you might be done actually, but we're listening to a book called The Compound Effect by blah, blah, blah. I can't remember his name. I'll figure out his name for you guys because it's a book worth reading for sure. But basically what it's about is, and I'm still only on like I think I'm on chapter 3, but basically what the compound effect is consistent small little things over time are going to like compound to make this huge difference. So as we jump into the meat and potato, Darren Hardy is the author. Thank you, Rochelle. And it's called The Compound Effect. But basically that's what it's all about is, you might not even notice this compound effect happening because it's just small little things that you're doing every single day, but it's building until finally, you see these huge results. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is one, because I think it's definitely worth a read for everyone on here, because you guys, the ones on here, you guys are the go-getters. You guys are the ones that want Ruby and will do anything to get it. And part of reaching Ruby and part of being a leader and part of being successful in this business is self-development. And so that's why I'm encouraging you to read this book. But also I'm encouraging you because this book I just listen to it when I'm driving in my car. And I feel like every 60 to 90 seconds, he says something where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. That's so great. But basically the purpose of it, the purpose of the compound effect is just those small little things every single day. So now we're going to go into what those small things are that you need to be doing every day. And today you might not have signed a loyal customer or a distributor. And tomorrow you might not either, but you have to stay consistent doing these things every single day, and it's going to create that compound effect. Okay. So I'm going to mute myself and let Ashley take it away, talking about how to grow your network.
Okay. That was a really good transition, Shelby.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I listened to The Compound Effect too on Audible, and it was really, 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 really good. It was, I think, $5 on Audible. So definitely, if you guys don't have that app, just download it. And it's very easy to use. Just look up The Compound Effect. And like she said, you can listen to it while you're driving. I think there's people who are not muted, and it's really distracting. Shelby, can you mute all or no?
I can. I just have to figure it out. So give me like a sec. Manage participants. Okay, unmute yourself, Ashley, and then you're good.
Perfect. Okay. So anyways, yes, definitely get that book or download it on Audible. So the first thing that I'm going over is how to grow your network. So obviously, just like Shelby said, when you first start, you're going to write down your hundreds list, and you're going to be pretty much talking to and posting to your warm market, because when you join a network marketing business, that's all you have is your warm market. You're not randomly adding people you don't know if it's not your job. So when you start, you're very literally the first day, and I know most of you on here didn't just join today, so starting tomorrow, you want to do what I'm about to go over every single day, because otherwise you're going to be posting to the same people, and they're either going to unfollow you or not, they're going to get kind of sick of seeing the same post over and over from you. So you have to make sure that every day you're adding people to your social media. I I am an Instagram person. I do work Facebook, but not nearly as much as Instagram. But I'm going to tell you how I add people on there too. So for Instagram, I don't have a specific number of people that I follow every day, because I used to do that and I found it more of like a tedious task than anything. And I just didn't like the way that it felt. This business is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that we can do on the side. And it was stressing me out if I went to bed and I didn't reach the number that I was aiming for. So now I pretty much have it down. No matter what, if let's say, I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, but once she's in school, if he is playing in the backyard, I will sit down and just follow 30 people really quick on Instagram. And how I do it is there's a few different ways. So I'll go onto Instagram and you'll see that explore page. It's the one where you click like the little magnifying glass, and then you'll see all these pictures. And Instagram has this weird like algorithm. They know the people that you want to see. And so all those people, all those profiles that are in your explore page are like gold. You just click on one. Let's say you see a picture of, let's say you have a golden retriever and you see a picture of a girl with her dog. Click on that picture, and then you can go to the person who posted that, go to her profile and go to her most recent picture. And then anybody who liked that picture, those are the people that I follow, because they're active on Instagram, because that picture is normally posted within a few hours. And I mean, I am a little bit picky about who I follow, but basically I only follow women. I try to follow people who have bright pictures and who have at least posted within the past like 2 days, because you want people who are active on social media. So I'll go to those people, I'll follow, and if I can get my 30 in right there, then I'll just do 30 and then I'm done for that hour. Instagram has changed a lot. You used to be able to follow 100 people an hour. You used to be able to follow unlimited people. Now I keep hearing the number is between 30 and 40. But I don't really like to risk it too much, because you can get blocked or put in like Instagram jail. And I don't want that to happen. So I just do 30 at a time. Okay, so that's the first way you can follow people. Another way is, let's say you want to build a local team. So go to your Instagram, go to your little magnifying glass, and then at the top you'll see different categories. If you click on places, you can type in Starbucks, and then it's going to give you a list of the places that are closest to you. So click on the top one, click on that Starbucks, and then anybody who was at that Starbucks and tagged themselves there, their pictures are going to be on that page. So then go to one of the pictures and then do the same thing. Go to their most recent picture, click on the likes, all the people who like that picture, and then add the people that you, if you just glance at them in the same criteria I said, they had bright pictures, they posted recently. Another thing is, make sure you can see their face in their profile picture. You don't want to follow spam accounts. And I guess I should get into a little bit more. So when you are following people, if their profile is public, make sure you're liking the first 5 pictures and commenting on at least one. And the reason why is because you want them to notice you. So if you went on Instagram and you saw that this person was blowing up your Instagram page and they're liking and commenting and wanting to follow you, the first thing you're going to do is go to that person's page. So you want them to go to your page, because if you're posting like you should be, then they're going to see your last, I think they say people look at your first 9 pictures. That's how they judge if they want to follow you or not. So they should see at least 5 posts in there, whether it's about the products, the business. They should see a little bit of both. So if they're public, you want to like their first 5, you want to comment on one, try to comment something genuine. Don't just like leave an emoji, but maybe say like, ask a question about the dress that she's wearing, or oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute. Where did she get that bow? Or, you know, just something that you can come up with so that they can answer you. Because again, that's interacting with them. They're going to notice you and they're going to want to follow you back. They're going to be curious about who you are. So if they're private, you can't do that when you follow them, but when they accept you, that's when you do it. So if you are following a bunch of private people, then, you know, next time you get on Instagram, if you have 4 follow requests, you're going to click on them and now you can see all of their stuff and do the exact same thing. Comment on one, like 5, follow them back. And then, and that's what I do. I honestly do that so many times a day. I have a rule for myself where if I'm sitting down on the couch watching TV, I'm following people. It doesn't take a lot of brain to do it. I like background noise anyways. So that's when I really like to do it. But I don't really watch a ton of TV. So I probably can do that with like 2 episodes a day. But then other than that, it's anytime. Like, in the car line when I'm going to pick up Avery, I sit there and I just follow. So, and then the last way you can do it is by hashtags. If you want to, I keep talking about golden retrievers for some reason. I don't even have one. But if you search the hashtag golden retriever, then you're going to see a bunch of posts that people made with probably their golden retriever. And then you can follow those people. And always the same rule of thumb, like on 5, comment 1 if they're public. And then, you know, just think of outside of the box hashtags if that's what you do, though, because you don't want anything that every other It Works distributor is searching. Nothing about weight loss, nothing about wraps. It's going to need to be outside the box. I personally don't ever search hashtags only because you're kind of filtering out a lot of people because you can't see any people that have private profiles. So I've just never been a really big fan of that, but it is an option. And that's it about Instagram. So those are the ways that I follow people. Oh, wait, there is one more way. Sorry. Go to your followers. So if you, let's say tonight I'm like out of ideas of people to search, I go to my followers, I click on one of them, and then I do the exact same thing. I go to her most recent picture. I do read the comments if there are comments, and if I like what people are saying, I'll follow them. I follow the people who liked it, and then you'll literally never run out of people doing it that way because you can click on their followers and just keep going and going and going. And then for Facebook, we teach our teams to only add 5 people a day. Again, it's something that changes all the time, but Facebook is way more strict about it. So you don't want to go on a adding spree because, again, you'll get put in Facebook jail. You won't be able to use your account, and that's not fun. So 5 people a day, a few different ways. Those ads that you see whenever you're scrolling through your Facebook, they put those ads based on what you like. So if you have a kid and you're constantly liking kids or people's pictures with babies or whatever it is, they're going to show you ads that have things to do with babies. So if you notice when you see those ads, there's like thousands of comments on there. Click on the comments and then just start looking. I personally am a little bit, I do take like probably a good minute per person, but that is only 5 minutes. Because Facebook, you can see a lot more and you can tell right away, is this a positive person? Do they use Facebook? Do they get at least like a few likes on their post? Can you see them? Like, do they have any pictures of themselves? If yes to all of that, then I'll add them. And then just make sure you're careful about mutual friends. You don't want to add people who have a ton of mutual friends with you because most of the time they're going to be friends with an It Works distributor. That may not necessarily be true when you first join, but as you promote more and more, you'll notice that your team is growing, so you're going to have more mutual friends. So just watch out for that. So ads is a really good way. Same thing with your friends. If you're married, go to your husband's friends and or add those people. Go to your personal friends. And, just give yourself a minute to look over their profile. Make sure it's somebody you would actually want on your team. The whole point of adding people is to eventually have them on your team. So make sure you're being a little bit picky, but not like overthinking it. And then the last way to add people is groups. This is like one of those that you have to be really careful about. If you guys are in Facebook groups, obviously you're not going to be spamming them. You're not going to be posting it works up in the group. But if you can spend like 10 minutes a day in a group and just make like one post or comment on a couple posts and like them, then like eventually you can start adding a couple of those people to your Facebook, and it won't be so weird because they'll recognize you from that group. And you're not adding them to message them right away, but you're adding them so that they can start watching you on Facebook and see all of your posts. So again, groups, ads, and then friends of friends. Really try to stick to 5 people a day on Facebook, and then on Instagram, have at it. If you can do 30 people an hour, then do it. If not, then just do it as much as you possibly can, because the more people who see your stuff, the more people you're going to eventually sign. And I think that's all I have for following. If I missed anything, Shelby, let me know.
Nope. I think you covered it all.
Okay, good.
Oh, one thing is my team, we primarily run our businesses, I would say like 95% completely social media. And so we do a lot of social media training, okay? But that's not the only way to work your business. There's also just like one-on-ones where you're just wrapping belly to belly, one-on-one type appointments. There's parties, there's vendor events, all kinds of different things like that. And so that's another way to grow your network, is like actually talking to real life people. It's weird, right? Eek. But it's a thing. And some people are better at it than others. But even though we are so like strongly social media, that doesn't mean you have to be. So if you're a people person, don't sit behind your computer. Do what you do best. Okay. So that's just one little tip to growing your network, is like finding what works best for you. I have someone in my mind specifically on my team who she just messages me and is like, oh, this just isn't working for me. Like messaging people and talk, Instagram, and I can't figure this out. But she is just like the most spunky, fun people person. And I'm like, stop messaging people. Like also her messages, like they come across like, ugh, like, no. But when she gets in front of people, she's like amazing and could talk to anybody and probably, sell anything to anybody. Even though we say we're not like in sales and stuff, but you guys know what I mean? Like she just has this amazing personality. So wow, long story short is do what works best for you. And if growing your network means like getting out there and talking to people, then do that. Okay, that's all. Rochelle, messaging. That's right. Yep, messaging.
Yes. So Facebook and Instagram is completely different, like polar opposites, as far as messaging, at least for me. I think for Ashley and Shelby too, it's a little bit more intimidating, if I'm being completely honest, because a lot of the times on your Facebook, especially when you first start, it is everybody in your warm market, right? And so you're not going to want to be sending out like scripts to them, because they're people that and obviously you're adding the 5 people that, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing every day and you're adding those 5 people, then eventually you'll have people to be able to reach out to and message with the types of scripts that we use. But I used Facebook a ton when I was going Diamond. When I was promoting to Diamond, I signed primarily all my LCs actually from Facebook. But when I look back, I think, most of those were still my warm market. So With Facebook, you can still message and you can still, hold on. My dogs are driving me nuts today, you guys. And we don't have a couch. So like we're sitting on the floor and my food's right next to me and Remy's just like eyeing it this whole time. Anyway, okay, back on track. So Shelly's like dying laughing. My life. Okay, I wrote some notes, guys, to just get me back on track. So with Facebook, posting and interacting is huge. I know I'm talking about messaging, but before we get to the messaging part, if you're not posting on Facebook and interacting with the people that are on your Facebook, then when you do reach out to message them, I do not know why, but this is just my experience. They're not very nice. Like if you haven't been interacting with them, they're on Facebook, I feel like it's just a little bit more personal. Like on Instagram, it's fair game. You can message anybody and everybody that is following you. They know what you do. They can see your posts. They're following you back. You know, as long as you like a couple of their pictures, if you send out a script to them, most of it is, I feel like, a little bit more impersonal on Instagram, if that makes sense. So on Facebook, what I usually do is watch for people that are posting like, I'm looking for a second job. Is anybody hiring? Or I wish I could make some more money. Or like I see those statuses all the time. Or my stress and anxiety is through the roof today. Like watch for those types of posts on Facebook, because those are the people that you're going to be interacting with, writing them down and messaging them, because you're going to message them and say, oh my gosh, girl, I struggle with anxiety and stress as well. I literally have this amazing pill. It's like wine in a bottle. Can I send you the ingredients or something like that? Like it's more of, at least the way that I do Facebook, it's more of like you're personally reaching out to them to help them with issues that you see them having or what they're posting about. And that way, if you're interacting with them, you're going to know the type of life that they lead. And so I don't like scripted things as much on Facebook because it just seems a little bit too impersonal, if that makes any sense. But moving, also, wait, I'll get to that. So I already went over that. So yeah, Instagram is a whole nother ballgame. It's anyone's ballgame. It is like, as long as you are like liking some of their posts and maybe you've interacted a few times, you never want to just like send a script out to somebody that you just started following that day. But messaging on Instagram, you guys should be messaging every single day, no matter what. And I'm not talking like, oh, I sent out 5 messages, no big deal. You know, people will come back to me. No, I'm talking at least 15 to 20. And honestly, even that's really low. Like I try and send out at least 30 messages a day. And if you can get 10 in the morning, 10 at lunch, and 10 at night before you go to bed, that's the best case scenario. Even if you don't have time to respond. Like I had the worst headache today and I was laying in bed getting ready to take a nap. And I'm like, you know what? Before I take a nap, I'm going to message 10 people. And immediately people started messaging me back, but I did not respond to them. I took my nap. I got up. I had a clear head. My headache was gone and I responded to them. It's okay if you have to leave like the messages in there, as long as you're getting them out. So don't tell yourself, well, I have no time to talk to people right now, so I can't message. You won't message for a week. And then you'll be like, crap, I should have done that. I should have been messaging, and you're not getting new potential. So always be messaging. If you're laying in bed and you think to yourself, crap, I didn't message, that's the time right there that you need to copy a script from your notes and send out 10 of them or 15 of them, and make sure that you do that before you go to sleep. And there was a couple other things. Oh, so one thing I want to talk about with messaging too, the first thing that people are going to do when you message them is look at your page. If you are not posting consistently, or if you don't have like an attractive page, if you don't know what I mean, like go look at like mine, Shelby, or Ashley's page. Like when you look at it, it's not super spammy. It's not it worksy. And I won't go a lot into this, but it's an attractive page. People like looking at it. They like the quotes. They like the motivation. They like the inspiration and the things that you're posting about. And so they're more intrigued, like, what does this girl do? And they want to talk back with you, and they'll be more likely to message you back. If they go to your page and they don't see anything about anything, and it's, you know, and nothing about your business or your family or whatever, and it's just a bunch of pictures of photography or something, they're going to think it's spam because they don't know why you're reaching out to them. And they're like, okay, I don't think she's serious. Do you know what I mean? So always make sure that you're doing the things that Ashley said that you're doing daily. You have to be doing all these things in line with each other. And you guys, it doesn't take your whole day. Like, it does not take your whole day. If it takes your whole day, you're doing it wrong. And that's where it like makes me cringe so much to hear people say like, oh, I just didn't have time to, to commit to it. And it's like, well, then you weren't sending 10 messages out in the 5 minutes it takes while you're laying in bed before you even get out of bed. And then on your lunch while you're eating your food, send 10 more messages out. Like it doesn't have to take a lot of time. So don't make excuses. Just make sure that you're getting those out. And 5 messages is not enough. So make sure that you're doing it every single day and you're being consistent with it. And you will start to see a lot of people join your team and sign up for products. So I think that's all I got. Did I leave anything out, guys?
Nope. I think that was everything. Wait, let me look. Yep. That's everything I had on my list. Okay. So I'm going to talk about something that is fun. Following up. It is like, it's the secret ingredient that I think a lot of people like forget about or leave out or, even just don't like to do because you feel like you're bothering people. I know I felt that way when I first started. And then I realized that it's my job. Like, I'm just doing my job. And I actually had some people in the beginning reach out to me and say like, I reached out to them. I followed up. I stayed consistent with following up with them. And I had people say like, Shelby, thank you so much for continuing to follow up with me. Life has just been so crazy. But I'm ready to do this now. And so following up is just super, super important. And if you just remember that it's your job, and as long as you have some tact while you're doing it and you're not just like, every day, like, are you ready to join my team? Are you ready to join my team? Are you ready to join my team? Like, there's ways that you can say it. And it certainly is not an everyday type thing. Then, sorry, I just got distracted by Katie's message. What app for iPhone to get this book? It's called Audible. Right, Ashley? It's the same on iPhone. Yeah. Okay. It's called Audible. Sorry. You guys can't be throwing questions at me. I get distracted. But anyways, following up, so important. So different people do this different ways, and you have to find what works for you. So I'm going to go over what some of those ways are. Originally, I started following up with something called Follow Up Friday. So I would work all week, do these things that we just talked about, engage, grow my network, add people to my Instagram and my Facebook. I would message them, work. And then on Fridays, I would take the day to just follow up with everybody that I had any conversations with. And okay, let me just be clear. When I say anybody, I mean, if I sent you a message on Instagram that said, hey girl, I've been following you for a while and I would love for you to be a product model. You'll get my discount, blah, 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 whatever. If they say, yeah, sure, what are the products? And then I give them a list of categories, and then I don't hear back from them after that list of categories. On that next Friday, I would reach back out to them. So even though all they said was like, yeah, sure, what products, that to me shows me they were interested and that I'm going to follow up with you until like, that's it. I'm just going to keep following up with you. And same goes for potential distributors. If I messaged you and I said like, hey, blah, 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 are you interested in earning extra money for the holidays? And they're like, yeah. And then, I go in with the rest of my spiel, but then I don't hear anything after that. You're still a potential distributor. So all you have to do is say yes, yeah, maybe, I don't know. What does that mean? As long as you respond back to me, then I'm going to follow up with you. Even if you say no, you're just going on my list as a not right now. Or you know, if you're a potential of Rochelle's, then you're about to get told why you need to become a distributor right now. Like, she doesn't take no for an answer, you guys. Me, sometimes I do, but it just means not right now. It doesn't mean no. So depending on what kind of person you are, how, I don't want to say aggressive because that's not the right word, but, you know, she has a way of sharing with people how they do need this business right now, not later. So anyways, following up, you got to do it. You have to just take that whole, like, I'm bothering people off the table. It is our job to follow up with them. People are so crazy busy right now that, like, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think, obviously, like, got to check on my kids. But, like, the first thing I think when I wake up, other than my kids, is, oh, so-and-so said she wanted the hair, skin, and nails. And, you know, blah, blah, wanted to join my team. And I forgot to follow up with them yesterday. Like, all this, like, work stuff goes through my head of, like, this list that I need to make of all these things I need to do. When my potential loyal customer wakes up, she's not like, oh man, that girl on Instagram wants me to buy her hair, skin, and nails. No, that's like at the bottom of her list. She's thinking about the lunches that she has to pack for her kids, the reports that she has to do for work, the drive that she's about to take, you know, her husband, this, that, and whatever. Like, she has a million things going through her mind, and hair, skin, and nails is all the way at the bottom of her list. And so it's my job to remind her that she was interested in that product. Where I'm not bothering her, I'm just reminding her. So a lot of it's in the way that you talk to these people, but a lot of it is in your own head, getting out of your own head and quit thinking like, oh, I'm bothering this person, because you're not. You're just reminding them, you're helping them. So if you are part of my team, then we have scripts in Team Bomb Diggity that, you know, different follow-up scripts, different ways that you can talk to people. Some people don't like the scripts and want to do their own thing. And if you feel like you got it and that what you're doing works, then that's fine too. Just remember that following up is hugely important. So that's what we call FUF, Follow-Up Friday. This way is really great too, because Fridays is when everybody gets paid. So they have money burning a hole in their pocket. It's like, hey, remember you wanted to try the hair, skin, and nails? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. Because in the back of their mind, they're thinking like, oh, I got paid last night at midnight. Like, I have $33 to spend, you know? Whereas if you message them on Wednesday and they just got done paying their mortgage and their water bill and, you know, bought their kids whatever, then they don't have any money in their bank account and they're like, nope, can't do it. Sorry. So that's why Fridays are a great day. If you're the kind of person that wants to designate one day a week specifically for follow-ups, Friday's your day. The other way that you can do it is every 2 days. I like the every 2 day thing because you're not like pestering them like, hey, I talked to you yesterday. Hey, I talked to you again yesterday and you never replied. And then, oh, talked to you yesterday and like, what's going on? You're not bothering them. But I think 2 days is really important, especially on the initial conversation. So if you're like, hey, product model, da-da-da-da-da, and they're like, yeah. And you're like, okay, here's the categories that I have open right now. And they're like, okay, tell me more about toning, tightening, and firming, and then you give them a quick little short description of the wraps, but then you don't hear back from them. Then in 2 days, you can be like, hey girl, I have 2 spots left open for my wraps with my 40% discount. Are you still interested? And then, you know, they're either going to be like, yes, no, or they're not going to respond. And so you just go from there. If they do respond, then obviously you're going to continue the conversation. If they don't respond, you're going to follow up either 2 days later, or you can wait till that Friday. Totally up to you. Just kind of feel it out, do what works for you, but following up is a must. And that leads into a topic that is so important that I fail miserably at and that I try daily to be better about. And that is being organized about your potentials and about the last time that you talked to them, so that you aren't losing those potentials because you waited too long to talk to them. That's probably my biggest downfall in not signing as many loyal customers as I should be and could be, is because I message and I'm excited and I talk to these people and they're excited, and then like I forget to ever talk to them ever again. And it's like I just lost somebody who really was genuinely interested because I forgot to follow up with them. So that's another thing where you just have to find your own groove. One thing that I've been doing lately is each month I just have like just a regular old like notebook, but each month I'll start like a new potentials list. So right here you'll see October. Yeah, that should say November. Oh no, that's my October list. Okay. So you'll see October here, and then the page before that, you'll see September, and I think just notes, but you guys get the point. Like each month I'll start something new. And so I work my business primarily on Instagram, somewhat on Facebook. My Facebook people that I sign it's so weird. Like I add 5 people every day. And for the most part, I get messages on Facebook still from people that are like still considered my warm market. Like people from high school that have seen me posting every single day for 3.5 years will be like, hey, tell me about the wraps. And I'm like, you know about the wraps. Like I post about them once a week for the last 3 years. Like, you know, but I still tell them. But the point is like I work my business mostly on Instagram. And so after I message any single person that shows any kind of interest, I write their name down, and then I write their Instagram name down, and then I write down if they're a PDT or a PLC. And then that way I can keep track of everybody that I've spoken to, and then I can follow up with them that way. So I can like go back and forth between the 2-day or the follow-up Friday. And, you know, sometimes I'll do both. Like, you know, if I talk to somebody today or, you know, maybe not today, but like if I talked to somebody yesterday on a Sunday and I wrote their names down, then I'll follow up with them in 2 days, which would be tomorrow. And then I'll follow up with them again on Friday, which is follow-up Friday. So like I said, you really have to figure out what works best for you, but you have to follow up. That's it. Like you can't not follow up or you're not going to sign anybody. It's probably like 0.5%. That's a total made up number, but 0.5% will sign up as you ask them and tell them like, hey, I need some product models with my discount. Okay, what are you selling here? You know, and then you tell them the categories, and then they're like, okay, yeah, hair, skin, and nails, sign me up right now. Or what's your website? I'm going to go sign up. Like that very rarely happens. And if it happens to you, then job well done. But you normally have to follow up with these people. I think this is a real statistic. I'm not making this one up. I might be getting the numbers wrong, but it's real-ish. 7 to 10, it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups before somebody actually buys something. And, you know, sometimes it takes less, sometimes it takes more. But think about it. You have to talk to somebody 7 times before they actually go to your site and buy something. So keep that in mind. And also remember that, like, if somebody is dragging their feet or not responding to you after a couple of times, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, it literally takes 7 to 12 times. So just keep following up. Jade Hooper, she is a ambassador. I think she's like number 4 in the company. She says that she obviously doesn't take no for an answer because she's number 4 in the company, but she does not stop following up with people until they literally like get a restraining order on her. Like, no is, and of course that's just a joke, but like no does not mean no. It just means not right now. So long spiel short, following up, you got to do it. And just try to get organized with it so you're not missing anybody. Okay, we have like 10 minutes left. Ashley, do you just want to kind of like zoom through your piece, and then Rochelle, take it away, and then maybe we can answer any questions if there is any?
Okay, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. I feel like it got darker. You can probably like barely see me. Okay, so yeah, the last thing I have is not very long, but obviously this whole training is about Ruby, how to get to Ruby, how to maintain Ruby, how to get your team to Ruby. So Shelby told us what a Ruby is, and I just want to touch on charting, because if you want to go Ruby, you have to know how to chart. So if you haven't done so, make sure you have printed off or drawn a Ruby chart. Just go to your, log into your eSuite, click on Document Library, and just type in the little search bar, Ruby chart, print it out or draw it if you don't have a printer, and have that hanging somewhere where you can see it every single day. As Shelby said, it's 5 people on your team. So if you, let's say you've got, I don't know, let's say you've got 1 distributor right now. Obviously, they're on your top line. A top line means a Ruby chart has 3 people on top and then 2 people on the bottom. So you have an executive. An executive is somebody who has 2 people on their team, and both people are at 400 GV. So once you have an executive, all you have to do from there is have 2 more people on your top line. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'll just say that one more time. So for you to go Ruby, you need to have an executive, and that executive is somebody who has 2 people below them, both at 400. And then you also need 2 more people on your top line. For you to actually promote, you need everybody except for your executive, and I'll explain why in a second. You need everybody to be at 400 GV. The reason why they don't tell you that about your executive is because if they have 2 people below them who are at 400, then they're automatically way above that. Okay, so you just need an executive. You need 2 people on your top line to be at 400. So if you sign people and you have questions, you don't know where to place them, make sure you reach out to somebody. Reach out to your enroller. If you can't get a hold of them, reach out to their enroller. Just you make sure you ask someone, because you only have 24 hours to move a distributor, and you don't want them to end up in the wrong place, because that just really sucks. So as you're signing people, as you're building your team, you're going to eventually know how to place, and you're going to be able to help your team. But just make sure you're getting somebody else to look at your chart too, to help you and to make, to give you their advice if they disagree with you. But that's really all I have. I don't know how in depth you want me to go, Shelby, about charting, but
no, that's good. I
okay.
mostly wanted you to just really talk about placement, which you did, like just making sure with the 24-hour thing and stuff. And then also just like Ruby is a huge building block. So not only are you earning $500 a month, which is amazing, but to go diamond, you need 3 rubies essentially. Right, guys? I always get that confused. Diamond, you need, you need 24 distributors, but it's essentially like 3 rubies. And then double diamond, it's 5 rubies, and so on and so forth. So like Ruby is so important. So once you go Ruby, you need to be teaching your team how to go Ruby. And like, it's not hard, you guys. It's hard work, but it's simple work. And, if you just do the things you're supposed to do, and like I said, that compound effect, then you will reach Ruby. And you can go fast or you can go slow, but you will reach Ruby if you're doing the things that we tell you to do. And of course, we want you to reach Ruby fast. We want you making that $500. We want you reaching your goals. And there's another little special thing about going Ruby that I'm going to let Rochelle talk to you guys about a little bit really quick, and then she's just going to kind of end it. And then if anyone has any questions, just do the little hand raise thing, or just, I guess, raise your hand or whatever you want to do, and we'll answer those.
Okay, sorry, I'm laying down because my head is killing me. So there is the Ruby incentive, I think all the way until the end of the year. And I know Shelby got it for promoting her husband to Ruby, and we got to see all the fun stuff in it when she got it. And it's like a $250 value. So it's like a ton of swag and just some stuff for your business and just really cool stuff too. So that is awesome. If you hit Ruby, you're going to get that gift between now and the end of the year. And then not only all the things that we're telling you to do to get to Ruby, but just by doing those steps to success and doing those things to go Ruby, you're going to get yourself some $100 bonuses, because it's just inevitable. If you're doing your steps to success, you're going to be earning the $100 bonuses. And I think that's only until November 30th, I think is what they extended it to. I'm hoping they extend it till the end of the year, because that would be amazing. But there is so much money on the table, you guys. I mean, if you need money for Christmas, we've said this before this month, but I want to say it again so that you guys really understand what this month can do for you. This month alone, you get paid in commissions. You get paid on December 15th for everything that you're doing this month. That's 10 days before Christmas. Make it count. Do the things that you need to do to make sure that you are every single day, that you can look back on December 15th and be like, you know what? Because I watched that training on the 6th of November, from the 6th to the 30th, I worked my business every single day. I made sure to follow 30 people an hour, or I made sure to follow 30 people 3 times a day, and you're doing the things that you might not do right now. But if you're doing more than what you have been doing, and you do that every single day from now to the 30th, your paycheck will be way bigger than what you think that you can ever make, because it's going to be more than what you're doing now. So make sure that you're doing those things. You're posting, you're adding to your network, you're just doing the things that we're telling you to do. Messaging is huge, and pour into your business, you guys, because that's when it's going to count the most, is 10 days before Christmas, when you really need to see those commissions come in and be able to spoil your family or whoever you want to spoil. So make sure that you guys are really committing to your business this month. What did Mark Pinnacle say? No limits, November. I love that. So no limits, you guys. If you want to make some cash, let's make some cash and drop all the excuses. I think we have like 1 minute left. Do you want to ask some questions? Raise your hand if you have any questions.
Anybody? No? Oh, Katie, go ahead.
So my question is, for when you sign LCs this month and you need to figure out your charting and what your GV is going to be, how do you do that? Do you just go on to your recent orders, or does that make sense?
Yeah, so you can go to the reporting area in your eSuite, and there's actually a couple different reports where you can see your team. Are you talking about your personal group volume, or like a distributor underneath you's volume?
For everything.
Okay.
So the whole chart.
You can go to what report is it, you guys?
I would do volume total by distributor is what I do. Because that's what I do. And you can look, if you have your chart out, then you're just going to find those 5 people. And if you see that so-and-so has 390 and another person has 200, and you signed somebody for 50 BV, then don't waste the 10 BV. Don't put it under the 390, because that's going to waste that 10 BV when you can put it under somebody. It's going to make more, you're going to use more volume out of it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what I use. Or you could use TreeViewer too. TreeViewer, you can open up your exact chart and see. But sometimes if you get, a bigger team than Ruby, it gets a little, TreeViewer is kind of overwhelming when you can just search. I use the search in volume total by distributor, because usually when you're promoting, especially to Ruby, you kind of have an idea of you're either placing under 2 people while your executive's placing under the other 2 people. So really you kind of have an idea oh, that person's done. So you just search, the other girl's name in volume total by distributor.
Okay.
And you see how much more you have. And what I do on my chart, and what makes it really easy, I'm sure Ashley and Shelby do this too, because that's where I learned it from, but is to, every time that you get a loyal customer and that you place it under somebody on your chart, write in pencil the volume total that they have so that you don't even have to go back to your reports unless like work with that person, because if they sign somebody for 30 BV and they haven't told you, then, you know, my point is if you write down that they need 400 BV because they don't have anybody and you sign an LC for 30 BV and you place under them, then you're going to minus 30 BV from 400 BV and write the new total that you need there. So that every time that you sign an LC, you know that distributor only needs that much more without even having to get your reports out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you can always see what your team is doing by looking at your downline activity. So if you do have a distributor and you're not sure if they have signed an LC or whatever, go to reports and then downline activity, and you can see what, for that month, what any distributor on your team has done.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions about Instagram, Facebook, following up, following people, hundreds list, anything? Everyone's good? Everyone's ready to go Ruby? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, cool. Everybody smile. I'm going to take a picture. Oh, is that a question? No? Okay. Everyone say cheese. Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I hope you're ready to just kill it for the next, I guess, 25, 26 days and just make this a no, is it no limits, Rochelle? No limits November? I like that. No limits November, no. Ruby Madness. We're all going Ruby. You're all getting that $250 value box of like awesome stuff. So much cool stuff came in it, like a backpack and a hat and a keto coffee mug and like party supplies and stickers and buttons. And like, I literally just like kept pulling stuff out. Like, seriously, more? And I like stuff, like free stuff like that. So they got me. They're like, hey, go Ruby and you get a bunch of free stuff. I was like, done. So get after it, you guys. And you know, message your enrollers and be like, guys, like, I'm going Ruby. Are you going Ruby? Like, let's do this. Don't be afraid to like huddle together and make this happen. And if you're on my team, if you were personally enrolled by me, then you're in a group chat with me. And I'm like taking a lot of time out of my month to like one-on-one work with you guys on your messages. I know Rochelle and I know Ashley are doing their thing too, but like take advantage of that because I can only do that so much. And the things I tell you, you can save to your notes and keep for future. So if you message me next month, I might be like, sorry, you should have messaged me this month while I was doing it. I mean, I'm always going to help you guys, but like it's very time intensive for me to stop working my own business to help give you guys the exact things to say. So please take advantage of that right now while you can. And while I have the time to be giving you those scripts and stuff. So anyways, thank you guys for jumping on. We love you guys. We want to see everybody go Ruby and get that paycheck just in time for Christmas. If you think of any questions, just post it in the team page. Otherwise, have a great night, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Rochelle.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.